I've never been in a band like this before. It's something quite new. I've been in bands where there's not one person writing the music, where there's 2 or 3 people writing the music, but this way of composing is something very original, I think, and very different.
The whole part of the band is really to find ways and tricks to compose really together and to keep the process of composing over each part of the band.
Lately we were working 2 by 2. Sometimes I take an idea that one of them has already proposed, and I think of how I could develop that or go in a different direction that's obviously there already, in order to enrich the composition in a new way.
La logique voudrait que je pose les mélodies, je pose le chant en fait. Je suis un peu le chanteur du groupe, hein. Et ce qui est intéressant dans un groupe comme Shijin, c'est que généralement j'ai à travailler avec quelque chose qui n'est pas fini. Tout n'est pas complètement figé avant que j'arrive. Pour moi, en fait, ce qui est intéressant, c'est que ça va être toujours différent selon ce que la personne me propose. Stéphane Galland, par exemple, m'a envoyé, sur le premier disque, il m'a envoyé des patterns sur lesquels il y avait pas d'idée harmonique, pas d'idée de basse.
When I have to propose something, usually I just start sometimes from nothing at all, and I just play, and I feel like I can find a tempo that I feel comfortable at the moment, or an idea of groove, so that it could bring something special to the band.
On essaye d'imaginer, là je me mets un peu à la place du bassiste pour imaginer autre chose, donc c'est assez intéressant, je peux être à plusieurs endroits à la fois. Tout en sachant qu'au bout du compte, je vais gérer ma partie, bien sûr. Je vais gérer mon espace de chanteur là-haut.
Stéphane, Guillaume, is used to compose and to write music on scores and to really hear everything in advance, like from the bass to the saxophone and the harmonies and everything. So he has a very different conception of mine, that I can compose only a bass line and to leave some space for the others to compose.
I think the piano and the drums, they have this connection as 2 instruments, and you have the 2 hands, so you're always able to play polyrhythmically.
For the last album, and this one too, we made some composition in duo, like on the piano, Ivor and Stéphane. They played together, and Stéphane Galland and me, we added some parts, some bass lines and drums. And then after this, we can rearrange and modify how the composition sounds, because nothing is written in a stone. It's like everything can be changed depending on what is proposed by the other people.
En fait, Ivo, il avait construit un pattern assez harmonique sur des découpes de double croche. Et en fait, moi, j'ai choisi de faire un thème qui passe un petit peu au-dessus, avec un débit de triolet qui donne une impression de flottement. Ça donne une impression de quelque chose qui est assez libre. En réalité, sur une métrique en 9 temps qui est assez charpentée. Et du coup, j'ai essayé d'utiliser ça avec les notes du mode. Alors, quand je fais ça, je passe beaucoup par le piano, ça passe pas que par le saxophone. Je vais chercher les notes qui correspondent le mieux, qui font sonner le mode au plus près. Et puis pour la deuxième partie, je voulais garder un petit peu cette idée un peu stratosphérique, en même temps en proposant des couleurs harmoniques plus axées vers le mode mineur, et avec une découpe qui est, elle, plus, tout en étant plus large, une métrique plus carrée. Voilà, c'est quelque chose que je pouvais élargir, mais une métrique qui me permet d'avoir des notes qui soient un petit peu plus loin les unes des autres. Donc en fait, le process de composition, il peut être toujours un petit peu différent. Là, en l'occurrence, dans les 2 phrases que je viens de jouer, C'était vraiment issu du process en duo avec Ivo. Avec Laurent, c'est complètement différent puisque lui propose des basses sur lesquelles on peut encore imaginer d'autres chemins harmoniques, d'autres choses. Donc le processus de composition, il peut se faire dans un ordre différent.
Yes. So for this tune, Ivo came up with this rhythmical structure that is actually 9 beats, divided 5 beats plus 4 beats, and the first 5 beats have a same subdivision of 5 16 notes. So 1 2 3 4 5, 1 2 3 4 5, 1 2 3 4 5, 1 2 3 4 5. So it's completely equal, and then the 4 4 starts the same, 1 2 3 4 5, 1 2 3 4, and then it has a little change that makes it uneven and less how do you say, expectable. Like there was, for example, one song where there's a very tricky drum pattern, but that's actually based on something simple that I double or triple. It goes like that. That's all in 7 beats. 1 2 3, 1 2 3, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So that's all like a displacement and a lot of tension and a lot of very fast phrasing in it that I wanted to develop into something that in the end would start grooving because of what Laurent would bring to it and what the other guys would bring. And so that, for example, that was one idea I had, to do something in the 7 that wouldn't sound like a very obvious 7, because there is a lot of break beats in it. There's a lot of very fast and slower débit. How do you say débit? I don't know. Flow.
This is in 11, and I was trying to keep something regular in my left hand, and that's something that I practice all the time, is doing something consistent in the left hand and try to do something in the right hand that is more exploratory. I don't really think of myself like a piano player or a keyboard player. I would like to be more a drummer. I'm playing the wrong instrument. Because if in jazz, if the drummer he drops a beat or something like that, it's very noticeable. But it's less so with a piano player or horn sax player. But I think it's good if a piano player or frontline instrument can have a similar approach to maintaining the groove and playing in the ensemble.
I'm a really big fan of delays in general, like delays, pedal, delay effects. And I like to use that as a looper. We don't usually use a lot of delay on bass. We can't really use that all the time like we can do on a lead instrument like guitar or keyboards, because it can be a mess very fast. I prefer to use a volume pedal. And then you can play something and sometimes you just send a note in the delay. How I like to use delays too is to use that as a looper, and I just have to, to push the feedback button and to really keep that note I want to play. So I always have to find the balance, the right balance, to have it always the same note, but not too loud. I think that's a very interesting process of composition, because we can stay ourselves and to propose something we would have never made alone, when you compose for yourself. Sometimes you need your instrument, sometimes you have your habits, you are used to write some music in a way. And the fact that we are always interacting with other people, it really changes everything. That means that even when you have a very, very solid idea about how it should sound to be great, sometimes we really have to get rid of that in our head and to accept that other people have different ideas and to find a consensus.
There was something Stravinsky said, composition is like frozen improvisation. I always found that very inspiring quote, because I think it's in the reverse. Like, improvisation is like instant composition. You don't really know what's going to come out. There's a concept behind it, and I think that's interesting as well, because it's working within that framework, finding something collectively within a certain framework. So the results that are produced are quite different from anything else, really. But it's complicated too, but it's worth it.